Ladies and gentlemen, on this episode of The Nation Wants to Know, I have with me here in our studios at Republic, and I have enjoyed the first part of the day greatly with him. I've admired this gentleman from a distance. I've got to know him, and I think all of us need to get to know him better because he's a role model, a very unusual role model in this country. And gives me great pride and privilege to introduce Dr. Sridhar Vembu. He is the amazing IIT Princeton trained technologist who's walked away from Silicon Valley, come back to India, and now is competing with Salesforce, with Microsoft. He's set up a bootstrapped company that has billions of dollars in revenue, and the worth of what he's doing is not in terms of revenue, but in terms of the example that he's setting. You can set up the largest of global companies from the farthest corners of this country. So this is really a story of connecting India. Mr. Vembu and I are also closely associated ideologically in the sense that we both believe in the philosophy of nation first, no compromise. Everything we do is in the service of the nation, professionally, personally, and otherwise. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Should I call you Sridhar ji?
Sridhar is good.
Sridhar is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vanakkam.
Okay, vanakkam. Thank you very much to the Republic Studios. Really
great to be here.
Well, great to meet you. Yeah. Great to know you. And
you have a really fantastic studio. I will tell you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. We're also thinking of doing everything from India for the world. So it's very difficult to start off with first questions for you. But let me start with where you are in life as of now. We read a lot about you. The maverick who is determined to take on the world, but from Tenkasi, from his village in Tamil Nadu. So why not from Chennai? Why not from Bengaluru? Why not from Silicon Valley itself? What is the reason for this life choice, the corporate choice, the business choice you're making? And where are you placed in business and personally as of now?
Right now, at this moment, I mean, today, yesterday, we've been, I guess, scrambling with this massive growth in Arattai. So that's where I am right now, in Delhi. That's why I'm here. And Tenkasi, we'll come to that. See, it's actually rational once you understand my point of view. We hear about the demographic dividend. Where is the demographic dividend being issued? Where are the people having children? If you look at globally, the talent pool that is waiting to be tapped, that's in India, primarily rural Bharat. That's where I would say perhaps the biggest untapped global pool of talent resides right now. It's born, it's young, it's hungry, it's ready for the opportunity. And however, I tell you this, there's going to be hundreds of billion-dollar companies can be created out of rural Bharat if you have the determination, if you have the passion, if you have the patience for it. So that's why I'm there.
So you're saying that you are not in Tenkasi only out of a personal choice, because many narratives about Sridhar Vembu say that he wanted to be in rural India. He had his own choice to live in a village rather than in a metropolitan city.
It's
but
both.
You're saying it's not only that.
It is not only that. See, I want, because this is a thing that if I'm also a businessman, I'm a technologist, and I also have a passion for rural development. To me, these are not, holistically, they're one and the same. And what is good for our business is also good for our rural children, rural talent that's coming out. And we have to link all of these together. And from another perspective, lifestyle, for example, today we are in a climate change world and we have to go back to nature. We have to connect back with nature. We have to live in harmony with nature. And where is it most possible? That's in, again, rural areas. And we have to revive our soil, our water, all of that too. So to me, it is not just one goal. It's not just the business goal. It is the demographics. It is the latent, the potential talent pool. And it is also that lifestyle and the spiritual connection to soil, water, trees, plants, animals, all of it. It's all come together for me.
Another question people would like to know the answer from you is, when people run billion-dollar companies, it shows in their lifestyle. They would be flying private jets, maybe have a fleet of 100 Rolls Royces. You pride on frugality. You actually advertise austerity.
I hope not.
Well, appears to be the case. Because, the images of you that come out in the media, sitting under a tree with your cycling in your village, what drives you if...
Yeah. First of
clearly
all,
money is not for your personal consumption.
First of all, I really enjoy it. I mean, out of all possible choices, this is the life I want. Okay, so that's the truthful answer. I mean, I could have any of a variety of life, right? This is what I want. So why do I want that? This is how I grew up. A lot of people, they are the childhood memories, right? What you best liked about your childhood. This is the part I most liked about my childhood. All of this rural India, and all of the connection to the soil, go swim in the pond. This was my childhood. I'm simply living the dream life I always envisioned. And technology, all of that is work I do. And today, I'm blessed to be able to do it anywhere. The broadband connectivity, the 5G, now the fiber optics, all of it. It simply was not possible even 10, 15 years ago. Maybe perhaps for the first time in human history, we're hyper-connected. And we have not completely realized the economic potential implications of it, the geo-economic implications of it, how jobs distribute, where prosperity goes, how lifestyles can evolve, all of it. And so I like to think of myself as one of the early movers on this. And I think the future will look more like this. And it also has to, if we have to, again, that come to the lifestyle. See, my parents, starting with my parents, and the communities, the people that I'm most familiar with, we emphasized simple living and high thinking. And that was always true, right? However, whatever money you have to have a simple life. My parents kind of exemplified it throughout their life. My father passed away last year. My mother still is there. She is the guiding force in that. What is a simple life? Let me just say it this way. I don't want a lifestyle which would be uncomfortable for her. And she would not be comfortable in a private jet sitting with me. She's comfortable in a train and a bus, and she's not comfortable going to a 5-star hotel. She wants to eat in an ordinary place everybody eats. That's how she is even today. So I don't want to do anything that will make my own mother uncomfortable. So that's a very critical part. I grew up that way. I enjoy that life. I genuinely enjoy the life. We had a chat in Bengali market today. We really enjoyed it.
Chat,
yeah.
I think we had a wonderful 500 rupee meal for two this morning. And
yes.
it was so real.
Yeah.
Does this lifestyle of yours, does it increase your focus on your business? If I were to ask you, compare Sridhar Vembu in Silicon Valley doing this job to Sridhar Vembu in Tenkasi doing this job, obviously, geography different, culture different, lifestyle different. Does your lifestyle give you a more intense or pure focus?
It does.
On what you need to do? Can you go into detail?
In the last 2 years, maybe I've filed 25 patents. I'm I'm doing very deep technology work. A lot of patents are coming out of this. I run a very strong engineering team. About 70% of my time, personal time, is dedicated to technology, software. That's where I am most, that's my native environment, so to speak. But it's also the other part. See, I see Bharat from that one rural district up, not from Delhi or Chennai down. So it's a very different perspective I get. So I go to the local temples. I'm part of the local temple festivals, the tiny temples dotting everywhere. So I'm there. That gives me a very different perspective on life. It's not easy to explain it. But I see people who don't have much but very contented. And in rural areas, people don't come to me and ask for money. It's surprising. They have that, that pride in themselves. They'll give me a smile, they're friendly, but it's not like, hey, give me your money. And everybody knows, newspapers publish all the time, here's a rich man living in your midst, but that's nobody cares about that. So that is what there is that contentment. So to me, that part of that whole thing is what I really enjoy about the life.
So you feel you have more satisfaction growing Zoho right now from Tenkasi than you did earlier?
Yes, absolutely.
You're happier growing Zoho today? You think Zoho is growing faster today because you're in Tenkasi than if you were
I believe so. And I am also personally more productive in a technical sense, meaning I'm getting more work done. So.
Yep. Well, that's, this is your, the way you are and the way you've run this company. This company is also bootstrapped.
Yes.
Now, how does one manage to bootstrap billions of dollars in revenue company? Is it possible to do that? Because in today's day and age, you've seen people only run after valuation and exit and valuation and exit and valuation and exit. And viewers, this is very interesting because here's a person who doesn't think of valuation and who's never had an exit. Neither have you looked for private equity investment. Haven't you been chased by all VCs, Ps, HNIs, everyone the world over to invest in your company?
Long time ago, an American journalist asked me the question, what does exit mean to you? I said, exit means only one thing, death. Right?
Morbid reality.
Yes, exactly, right? So that's why I have never been interested in that question. I'm going to work as long as I possibly can. And I'm doing stuff I actually enjoy, living the way that I want to live. And hopefully being able to invent technology, however long I can. But the reason also, and first of all, to come this far, it also has taken time. You're 30 plus years now. And we never had when you don't have an exit in mind, this time also doesn't matter, right? You are enjoying the journey itself. There's no destination, right? The journey is the destination. And that is why it is, you're coming to work every day. Sometimes the growth is faster, sometimes the growth is slower, but you're still enjoying it. And you are inventing, you are creating new things, and you are hiring new, very young kids often, and you're working with them. That energy comes. So that's all that process itself that you enjoy. Then there is no destination, right? It's a whole journey. And that's why it never, how fast other companies grow, what other companies treat as metrics has never been relevant to us.
But you must be looking at the other companies. Who's your biggest competitor?
Well, of course, Microsoft today and Salesforce. These are some of the biggest.
How close are you getting to them?
Very far. See, this is also an opportunity, right? Microsoft is 350 plus, maybe 400 billion approaching, and Salesforce might be 35 billion. And we are still maybe getting closer to 2 billion, I should say. That's still a substantial opportunity I see. But also I don't lose sleep over any of it. We are enjoying the journey, we are growing, we are making a difference. See, I think in fact I can say this now, we have crossed about 1 million paying orgs around the world. I think the first time I mentioned
1 billion.
1 million.
1 million
paying organizations around the world now, which is a big milestone. We have not actually announced it yet. And so I'm saying it here. And of which about 20% are in India. 80% are outside India. So it is a big number, 1 million paying orgs. And we are adding at the fastest clip ever.
What is your rate of growth compared to Microsoft? Or compared to Salesforce?
You'll be about at least twice as fast as them now, maybe 3 times now. And also the organic growth, the quality of growth, all of that is better. So that's why we are serving a very large, for example, it's India, of course, is a major market, but also in the US to Middle East to Africa, Latin America, Europe, everywhere, Japan, and China. You have 200, 250 people in China. Everywhere we are seeing growth.
Well, I mean, you see yourself eating into a bigger and more substantial share of these global companies?
Yes, that is definitely happening. We are attracting a very large number of migrations away from them. And that's worldwide, not only in India. That's happening. And it's because we offer a fundamentally better product at better value and better support. This is the other thing. We always pick up the phone. When you call us, there will be somebody to pick up the phone. There's a human. And in this AI era, companies are chasing AI chatbot will answer, AI maybe will answer your call. To me, it's not just a technical question. We enhance our support. The support person uses AI, but we want the human element. We want that customer talking to a human being. If it's a human customer, they should talk to a human being. That's respect. We don't want them, even if a bot can do the job, I think it's better to talk to a human. They appreciate that. So.
But isn't that much more expensive?
It is, but to me, I'll put it this way. Companies then go out and spend a lot of money on this and that, marketing this or that. We like to take care of customers and then word of mouth. So that's how it spreads.
Somewhere, somebody watching this conversation will have one question to ask. Should they shift to Zoho? I mean, because they'll say, okay, so I'm a layman, I'll say, if I shift to Zoho, do I get all the international backup that a Microsoft gives me? Do I have the same backup that I would get? Is it as serviceable?
Yeah.
Is it as manageable?
Yeah.
And if that is the case, then why are people shocked when, for example, Ashwini Vaishnav puts out a tweet saying, I'm shifting to Zoho. And people are saying, oh, okay, that means that Ashwini Vaishnav, who's a technologist himself, by the way.
Yes.
That's to completely like you in a way.
He knows technology.
He's a technologist. When he's shifting to Zoho, which means it's totally trustworthy, and then why aren't more Indians switching to Zoho? What if, Sridhar, what if a majority of Indians were to shift to Zoho? What would that do for the country, not your company?
Yes.
Is it possible to do that? Why aren't we doing that?
Yeah.
Prime Minister is talking about Swadeshi every single day.
Yes.
Especially since Operation Sindoor, this has become something he mentions once a day at least. So,
yes. First of all, I would like everyone to evaluate Zoho. Make your own decision. Take a good look at the entire suite of products and compare, and you will see the difference. You will see that it does make you more productive. It is much more usable. It's much more well integrated, all of it. And that's what, people see. A lot of people, the first time they see the whole suite, the first thing is surprise. Hey, I didn't know you had all this. Why didn't you guys market this better? That's actually the question people ask. We say, well, we'd much rather that you discover it this way and we surprise you than we push it down your throat and you hate us. That's how I say it.
But you got to let people know.
Yes. Yeah, we have to do marketing and we have to let people know. But we'd rather that people also put us to the test, use it and see how the products are. And that's, I think, the surprise element and a lot of people get that. The second, I fervently hope that majority of Indian customers would choose us. And I believe they'll be choosing the best product. I'm confident. And with very strong support and all of that. But again, I don't ever like to push it down anybody's throat. They have to make that decision individually. I like it. That's the way we like our customer. In fact, we have a long-standing policy that if a customer is ever unhappy, we'll refund them the money, no questions asked. We have always had that policy. The reason is we don't ever want to take an unhappy customer's money.
Yeah. See, I think the most important thing on technology is that it needs to be totally globally competitive, right?
Yes.
And because it should be about demonstrating India's capacity to the world.
Right.
Do you also feel you're carrying that weight on your shoulders, that wherever you go, how many countries are you in now, by the way?
About 80 countries we have a direct presence. In
80
other
countries.
80.
Yeah.
And other countries we do business through partners.
Yeah.
We have over 18 data centers. In fact, over the next 5 years, that may become 50, 60 data centers. Practically every country where we have substantial business, we are putting data centers because we want to keep their data in their own jurisdiction. And yes, see, as our nation goes from 4 trillion to 10 trillion, 15 trillion, there are bound to be Indian multinationals coming up. It's about time. It's in fact long overdue. We have to have that. And that requires us to, of course, be very, build all the capabilities in terms of technology and engineering, the scientific, technological, human resource base here. In addition, the ability to manage global orgs, which actually, because India is such a vast, diverse country with so many languages, cultures, all that, there's a natural affinity here for us to understand the world, each on its own terms. We are not a country that goes and says, you should live this way, as some other countries like to do, right? So that's why I think the India brand is very strong. We are definitely benefiting from it. In fact, customers in...
How has that changed for you? I mean, you started as a bootstrapped company, then you've grown significantly right now. Globally, are you more accepted, say, in the last 5 to 10 years today as an Indian brand? Are people more open to doing business with you?
In fact, say, 15 years ago, when we say made in India, people would say, hey, don't say it too loudly. Maybe it's not good for brand, or maybe customers won't trust us. They'll think Indian product is not good enough or something. Today, it's vastly different. Made in India is actually a very strong point in favor of us. It's true in the Middle East. It's true in Latin America. It's true in Africa. And everywhere, in Australia. Made in India actually sells now. In UK. So that is why I think, and this is, I have to say, I definitely have to credit our Prime Minister Modi for that vast, that Made in India brand. Yes, he's created an India brand globally. And we are, as a company, are benefiting from that whole brand building.
We had this IT revolution in India almost 20 years back. Yes. Why have we not moved fast enough? Why is there only one big Zoho and one Sridhar Vembu? Is it because Sridhar Vembu was a bigger risk taker? Or is it something else that we may have done wrong? Did we do well enough, given that we had already started becoming known in IT 25 years back?
See, it came from we went in the direction of IT services. And we should have gone into products more. We should have invested more into products, whether it's software products, hardware products, like network equipment, PCs, servers, all of that, and phones, all of that, which are now slowly emerging in India. But I'll start with this. In 80s, we had a very strong PC industry started here. Early 90s, it was there. And we had it before the Chinese. The Chinese PC industry started after us. And you go back, we had a semiconductor fab in Chandigarh before the Taiwanese had their fab. And if we had built on that early lead, we would be a semiconductor superpower.
Built in what sense?
In a sense, you have to see that first fab, then the second one, third one. See, today the semiconductor fab is a very complicated industry. It takes 5 to 10 billion to set up a fab. But you obviously cannot just immediately come up with 10 billion in a fab quickly. It still takes time to build up the talent pool, all of that. We had that opportunity to build it that way. But unfortunately, we missed that opportunity. The same thing in hardware. Exactly the same thing happened in software products.
Why is that? Were we looking too much at the immediate financial return, not looking at the long horizon?
Definitely the IT services is a low risk, easy to make money business because you take a percentage of the human resources you deploy for a client, but you don't build your own intellectual property.
It's body shopping.
Well, I wouldn't. It's consulting services, maybe if you want to say that way, but still you're taking percentage of what the client is paying for it's really billable hours model. Maybe. It's like how an accounting for a law firm will work,
correct,
but not to software.
Yeah.
But what we should have built is the intellectual property. For example, the cloud infrastructure. This was something we could have easily built. And unfortunately, we let AWS or G Cloud, all of that.
Who do you blame for that?
Huh?
Who do you blame for that?
I'd say it is, rather than blame, I would say it's a little bit of we didn't have the sufficient daring or sufficient self-belief too. Sometimes it came out, it came from this. We don't have the domain expertise to do it. That's often, I've heard this 20 years ago, people would say, can we build this product here? They'll say, we don't have the domain expertise. But the truth is, you build the domain expertise by doing it. The domain expertise doesn't come before doing it. You do it, you fall down a little bit, you make mistakes, you learn, and then you learn, right? That's, for any business, it's true, whether it's a media business, whether it's software, all of it. You have to build something, put it out there, get beaten up a little bit, then you learn. That mindset, we had that expectation. Somehow we have to build the domain expertise first, and then later we can do this. That was the problem. The second one is, our business houses broadly originally came from trading, right? Buy and sell. In fact, all business, the word business was trading originally. But the balance shifted towards making and owning the proprietary know-how into making. There is no semiconductor trading. It is all making. Making is so complex. That's the business. That's where the value is. So the value shifted from trading, distribution, to making complicated things and figuring out how to make those complicated things. We didn't shift with that. That's the first one. The second one, this is actually a little more insidious. We went from a Soviet socialist thing to an American financialized model. And without realizing that the American financial model itself was de-emphasizing manufacturing, making things, all that. In other words, trading is one level, and then the financial system is making money on money. So, and then the quarterly returns, the pressure, quarter-to-quarter pressure, that means predictable earnings growth. You have to show 10, 12, 15, 20% every year. All of those, so we went from one model to this model, American model. That also hurt us. And I have often argued this is also because we are very maybe our English language itself, because we read that, all the English media, English content, that's all dominated by this finance. That also affected us.
Well, did you not think of taking the easy option, but you took a risk? What was the time when you took the risk?
Yeah, that's because I come from first principles. So I asked, how did Japan develop? This is a resource-poor country. What would have been considered at that time overpopulated for the tiny amount of land they have. Still, in fact, if you think about it, population density, that would be considered overpopulated, right? Which, of course, nobody would say that now with the demographics. And with no real natural resources, how did they develop to be one of the world's richest nations? To me, that was the most dominating question of my youth. I would obsess about this. When I was, say, 21, 22, I would read books. Then I would read books on Singapore. I would read later books on Korea, Taiwan. And in fact, maybe 10 years ago, I read a lot of books on China because it was very clear to me something magical was happening in China in terms of this development takeoff. And they all had the same underlying source. It's the whole idea that they got into the making of complicated things, whether it's complicated software, technologies, all of it. They figured out.
Jet engines.
Yes, jet engines, everything, robots, and pharmaceuticals, all of it. And we didn't get into it in sufficient force. We can do it. Then Zoho's existence proved that we can do it. But we have to set our minds to do it.
So what are the new areas that you're getting into? Yeah,
so we are looking at now medical technology in a big way because we are importing huge amounts of billions. If you go to any hospital, you'll see everything is imported. That's something that we are getting. We are investing aggressively in that area. And we are investing in robotics. Outside of Zoho, I'm talking about, we are investing in semiconductors, chip design, all of that. We have not invested in a fab, but we are investing heavily in chip design. And once the fab in Gujarat, Tata's fab comes in, we would like to be one of the early customers to fabricate our own chips there. They're fully made in India, they're designed and made in India. Right now we are making it and we are fabricating in Taiwan. And we are also looking at other adjacencies, for example, sensors. So this, how we get information from physical world into the computer. we are actually weak in sensors. That's very important for a variety of industries. Ultimately, everything connecting to the real world is sensing something, and we need sensors. And so we are looking at that, and that is high technology. There's a lot of technology in it, variety of sensing techniques. So we're looking at that. So,
all these investments that you're making, are they purely Swadeshi companies?
Yes.
Are they Swadeshi in the sense 100% Indian?
Yes.
Or is it assembly line work going on?
It's all always our investment thesis is companies that have a long gestation period in R&D, people who need that backing, people who are hardcore engineers, all with a nationalistic spirit that we have to do this in India, we have to show that we can do this in India. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I think you're an exceptional person. I think you're a role model. Simple living, high thinking, frugality, austerity, high capitalism in the sense that you are chasing profit, you are chasing revenue, and you're trying to take on the world's biggest companies. So from where you are, can you be a little critical now and tell us, what are we getting wrong in our country? You've also served on the National Security Advisory Board. You have a deep spirit of service for the country which brought you back. Piyush Goyal, I think, did a service to the country when he said at a startup conference that your job is not to do startups that deliver food to people. You must get into innovation and R&D. And nobody liked it. Especially a lot of youngsters didn't like it. Everybody was looking at valuation and exit. But I think he did a great service by actually saying that. What are we doing wrong, Mr. Vembu? Because we need to move faster than we are. What are we doing wrong as a country?
We definitely need these patient entrepreneurs, along with patient capital, that can get into these areas. And that includes all of the things I said, because many of these areas requires 5 solid years to get that first product sometimes. Maybe 10 years to really show something meaningful in the market. That's the kind of, if you are 22, maybe you have to say, by the time only I'm 32, all of this is going to be fruitful. That patience is required. Patient capital and patient engineers, patient entrepreneurs. That's vitally required. And we have, as I said before, we have taken too much to maybe the American exit model, the financialized capital model. I don't believe that suits our nation. In fact, I will quote.
But that's almost like, it's like a plague everywhere.
Yes.
Everyone wants it.
Exactly.
That's what entrepreneurship has become all about.
And I will submit to you that that model cannot result in lasting companies. In fact, the problem for American economy itself is the short-termism, that this quarter-to-quarter pressures. And they are trying to move away from it too. So while we are borrowing that model, they are rethinking that model themselves. In fact, I will actually, in this occasion, I want to mention my mentor and the great philosopher, Sri Gurumurthy Ji, says, capitalism is Vaishya Dharma minus the Dharma. I've really taken a liking to that quote. Yes. So it's the Vaishya Dharma. There is a Dharma in business, and that we have to keep that in mind. To me, that is the patient long-term capital. It's very much capitalism, but it's a kind of a Dharmic capitalism. That's what we need.
What is Dharmic capitalism?
So it means, I'll give you actually one thing from our Tamil culture. So I was born near a village where the Gangai-Konda Solapuram, the Rajendra Cholan's temple. The Rajaraja Cholans is the big temple in Tanjavur. His son built a big temple. This has been standing 1,000 years. As a kid, I would go there and be inspired by it. I would think, how could somebody build this that lasts 1,000 years? Can we build anything that lasts 1,000 years? Those were my thoughts then as a kid. And just about a kilometer from there, there's a place they call in Tamil Malgai Medu. That's the kind of the mound where the palace used to stand. So this king built this temple that lasts 1,000 years. Why is the palace only a mound? Earthen mound. And you dig it, you see the earthen walls, all that. Why couldn't he build a palace for himself that will last 1,000 years? Obviously, he could have. But he didn't want to. It was a choice. That's the Dharma. That is, he wanted everything he built for the public benefit. And he lived in the earthen mound thing that has now gone to the earth back. And we call that place, the Malgai Medu, the earthen mound, really, the palace mound. So that is, to me, essence of it. So to me, the capitalist in me, I ask, I personally don't need money, any more money. My needs are simple. I'm going to live this way. I'm 57-year-old. I'm not going to develop new taste to spend money. Then why should I make money at all? But there's so much need in our society, so many things. The investment in these long-term R&D, all of it, that's one. The second, also in the villages, I see a lot of, for example, educational needs. We want to run rural clinics. We want to run skill development programs. All of that obviously need money. So money has a purpose. To me, that linking these two, that is Dharmic capitalism.
Yeah. And do you ever see yourself entering public life?
I think I have my hands full now in business. I have a long way to go still. As I said, we are only maybe 1 or 2% of Microsoft still. So I think no.
No. As of now, or no?
No.
Why are you not going public? Now, do you not want to see your name among the richest people in the world? Dharmic capitalism, which you mentioned. Also, one of your recent tweets about Gandhiji was also controversial. Can you tell us what you had said in that sense, which
I said there's a Gandhian
ruffled a few feathers?
Yeah, well, anything I'd say would ruffle a few feathers. Right? That's just how social media is. I said Gandhian capitalism, and to me it means a respect for, reverence for everything that is. See, Gandhi was a deeply spiritual human being. That's why we call him Mahatma, right? That's the part. He brought spirituality into politics. But your spiritual nature, to me, that is necessary in capitalism too. We think of this as all these separate realms. There's a realm of what you measure and money, all of that, and then there's your separated. In our dharma, we don't separate those things. We actually have to live in a holistic way. To me, today, the urgent need, the true Gandhian capital would mean sustainability in the environmental sense, respect for nature, life, all life on the planet, including human life, and respect for trees, water, animals, soil, all of it. To me, that is what would be Gandhian capitalism today. That's what I said.
And one of the reasons there is a renewed focus on you and a great interest in you as an individual and Zoho as a company is because of the thrust on Swadeshi.
Yeah.
Tell me about Arattai. Because some people are saying here that here is a person, Sridhar Vembu, he's our very own Elon Musk. Please don't mind the comparison.
No, I think that's not. I've not done anything near his achievements.
But you've built a great Indian company, and you are now building Arattai. Tell us about Arattai. Is it an alternative to WhatsApp?
Yes.
Or to Twitter, or is it a mix of both? And we heard recently that there was a 10 to 100-fold increase in the number of downloads of your social media app. Why is there so much interest?
Approaching like a 1,000-fold increase now.
1,000-fold increase now. Are you ready for it?
Yes, we have. The last 1 week, our engineers have been working flat out. And
really? What is Arattai? I mean, for those who are not yet totally familiar.
You are actually pronouncing it exactly.
Arattai. Arattai means what, and what is it?
Arattai in Tamil means kind of a good-natured, fun chit-chat.
Okay.
And it's like maybe idle chit-chat kind of thing. It's like in a village, people sit around and chat about something. Yeah. That's Arattai.
What you would call Adda in Bangla.
Ah, okay.
Adda. Adda is in Bangla, it is. Or in Assamese also. Adda means just sitting around and what would the English word for it be? It would be shooting the breeze.
Arattai would be exactly
you and I just sit and shoot the breeze. There's no purpose or end to this conversation.
Correct.
Right? So Arattai.
Shooting the breeze would be a great way to put Arattai. That's Arattai. Okay. And we named it, just for fun. This is a messenger product. It's like WhatsApp. It has differences. We actually have some significant differences. We are building it like a platform. But we wanted to keep the fun element. That's why we named it that way. And we didn't expect it to take off this quickly or this soon. It's like a chain reaction that happened. But we have been getting ready for it. We actually had a big plan, say in November or December, but we just had to accelerate everything and we are scrambling. But, we've been keeping up. And it is the reason we built the product, I felt someday our nation will need to use products that are in our strategic technological control. Because technology is weaponized against us, will be weaponized and is being weaponized. And national sovereignty, national security, leave alone national prosperity, all of them depends on mastery of technology and your ability to control the technology for your own uses. That's why we invested in it. We have always said messaging technology is very critical. Everybody, all of us, are on this. So we need to build this. That's why we have been building this. And we have a lot of engineering effort has gone into it. And the name is a kind of a fun name, but the technology is very real and deep. And that has been the motto from the beginning. We also, from a business point of view, we have actually a product in the business software. It's called Zoho Click. That has been doing quite well. And that product and this share the same technology foundations. So we felt when we build this, it can also cross-fertilize into the other product. So there was also the rationale like that we can put the learnings from this technology into the business software arena that would give us a competitive advantage. So in fact, that has been true because now we are getting a lot of exactly how to run it on very low-end devices, very low bandwidth. All of this is an advantage in business too.
So it's more an alternative to WhatsApp?
Yes.
WhatsApp.
But it's also much more of a platform. We are envisioning it like a WeChat in China, which is much more than a WhatsApp. That's how we are thinking.
So how many months away are you from taking it to the level of technological back-end development that you would really push marketing on the product?
It's probably next month or two. We're trying to accelerate all of this next month or two, and then the development will continue.
What's your ambition for Arattai?
Yeah, we want this to have 1 billion plus users.
So on everything you want to compete with the WhatsApps and the Salesforce and the Microsoft. You get a kick out of it, don't you?
Well, you definitely I have to admit that.
Yes,
and I want to show that our talent, our rural talent, we can build all of this. That's also part of the mission here.
Is it rural talent that's behind this?
Yes, definitely. A lot of,
You work in Tenkasi. How many of the people who work there with you are from the place?
About 80% of the people are from around surrounding rural districts, a couple of districts. And Arattai team itself, about 40% of the team is in Tenkasi. But I see them when I go to office, I see the Arattai team often. But I had a meeting just before I came here. I said, guys, now is the time.
So you're saying it's not required that you need to fly down people from the US trained people to work with you in Tenkasi?
It's all homegrown. It is all learned by doing, experiential learning. That is how the team has been built. That is how the products have been built. And these people are very, very good now in their craft.
And you gave an explanation a few days back on Zoho. When you become so big, Sridhar, you must also get a lot of attention and unwanted attention. You actually went on X and you gave out an explanation that we are completely Indian company, our back end is Indian, our people are Indian. Why did you have to go and make that explanation?
Yeah, people were spreading all kinds of completely false information that somehow we are an American company that pretends to be Indian, or all of the data is in America, all of that. Completely false. So we had to clarify. All the code is written here. The company is headquartered in Chennai. They can go check, download from the Department of Corporate Affairs because that publishes this info, all of it. And we pay our taxes in India. And data centers for Indian data is India. Of course, we have 18 data centers. So, for example, Middle East data is kept in Dubai or Saudi Arabia, all of that. And EU data is kept in Netherlands or in Ireland. So we have data centers in Germany, in Canada, in, of course, US, in Mexico, all of that. But Indian data is in India. So all of that I had to clarify.
Yeah. So you do get a share of attention, but you're on social media a lot. It doesn't put you on back foot. It doesn't put you on back foot.
No, first of all, I have a thick skin. And somebody calls me random names, I just smile. So I don't really, I never get angry or anything. Because to me, both praise and being called names are approximately the same. I just react the same way. So.
Yeah. You don't react to people on social media. You don't engage in.
I never
conversations
engage
or
in.
battles.
I never attack back anybody. I'll offer if there is a criticism. I offer that's on the ideas, never personal. So.
What is the legacy you are working towards? What is the headline you wish to have? You said you're 57.
Yeah.
That's relatively young, by the way. I mean, if you were in the Congress,
I'm glad you said that.
If you were in the Congress, you would be a youth leader like Rahul Gandhi. You're just a year older than Rahul Gandhi. Don't worry. So, sorry about that, but I couldn't resist it. But you're relatively young. You have a long way to go. What is the headline that you're seeking?
Our nation needs to be a technological superpower, and it has to have that's the destiny. If our nation has to be strong, it has to be very strong in technology, because technology permeates every aspect of our existence today. We cannot even do farming without technology today, medicine without technology, schooling, universities, everything is technology now. So we have to be really good at it, and we have to be strong, and we want to trade on equal terms with the world. See, I'm all for trade, but we have to trade on equal terms. We cannot simply be consumers, be on the receiving end. We also have to be on the sending end. This has to be established. That's why there has to be 100 companies like us taking our technological leadership forward in every field, every technological discipline. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I understand your sentiment. It's our aspiration too in Republic that we are able to take Republic globally, and we keep saying let's get at least 5% to 10% of the global viewership.
It's about time there is a Indian network that's globally respected as a news source, all of that. So it's about time. So my really best wishes to you.
And to you as well. I hope that we are both able to do what we need to do for the country.
Yes.
Sridhar, finally, what is the biggest, if you were to ask you to do a SWOT analysis of India today, what is our biggest strength, our biggest weakness, opportunity, and threat?
Yeah.
I want to wrap this interview up with your clear thoughts on these, and maybe this will be the big takeaway for everyone today. Also for young entrepreneurs, technologists watching it, for those for whom you're a big role model today.
So our biggest strength is that youthful, passionate talent. That's there everywhere.
Demography.
Yeah, and the demographic dividend, as people say, that's the biggest strength if you properly use it. That comes to the weakness. The weakness is that a lot of our own elite, our own educated elite, don't realize the full magnitude of it, don't understand the real potential of it, to be able to really properly channelize it. That's our weakness. And that also comes from, today, our elite and our common citizens, we speak a different language altogether. And that's why I'm passionate about reviving our languages for technical work, not simply chit-chat, not simply Arattai, but also do technical work, all of it in it. So that connection has to happen, and that's the only way that we can actually fully realize our strength. The opportunity, of course, to be a global leader in everything. That's the opportunity. That's what demographic dividend means, that you have the youthful talent to emerge as a leader in every field. There's really young people who inherit the world. So that's the opportunity. The threat is our own internal divisions by 100 different things. And even in X, I see this where they announce something. Take even the name Arattai. There'll be somebody attacking it because it is Tamil name, or somebody attacking it because of opposite. Or, there's all this there's a lot of pettiness. In fact, I take the name Arattai, right? People are, happily buying a phone called Xiaomi. It's even hard to pronounce for us Indians.
Yes.
And we are okay with foreign brands that are unpronounceable names, right? And those things took off here. So this, if we stay focused, it can take off. That's not the problem. And we must actually believe in ourselves. And that not believing in ourselves, that is where, and then that's our efforts kind of, that whole disintegrate. That's the threat. That's so, we can be our own worst enemy, in that sense. That's the threat I see. There's no external threat.
Yeah.
We are our threat.
We are our own threat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, just to wrap it up, I'd like to say one thing to you, Sridhar, that I think what is magnificent about you as a person is your authenticity. And anybody watching this conversation, it will go viral, people will watch it. The biggest takeaway I have is that if you are yourself, then everything comes with you. You don't have to pretend to be anyone else. And we have a living example of a person who's so sure of himself and who's doing things his own way. But this interview will not be complete without my asking you one question, which I asked to our common mentor and philosopher guide, Gurumurthy ji, about Bharat as a civilization. Is that at the back of your mind?
Yes.
Beyond the economics, beyond the coding, beyond global competition, does the revival of Indian culture,
yes,
our civilizational heritage, is that also on your minds? And is there something you would like to share on that with all our viewers?
it's a kind of a millennial goal, right?
Millennial goal.
Millennial goal. That is,
Nice.
it's slow process, but we have to revive our civilization. Be strong. And what does it mean to be our civilization? I know. In fact, Gurumurthy ji taught me this. He said, humility and contentment. It's not about this technology, all of that. That's all there. That's good. But we are fundamentally, what makes an Indian wanted in Mexico or Colombia or wherever we go? We are a humble people. And I want us to stay a humble people. That's one, humility. And then this contentment. Because there's our potential wants are infinite, insatiable. And we'll destroy the earth by our own, wants. We keep on wanting. So, in fact, for the world to be at peace with itself, not just peace within, but peace even in the war and peace sense, we have to have that contentment. And he would often emphasize to me how the core of our spirituality, our civilization, is this humility and contentment.
Yep.
That simple living and high thinking.
Truly.
That is our civilization.
Truly. Well, that's another word which has always stayed with me. And I've loved this conversation. There's a lot of learning in this. I hope to come to Tenkasi to see you and to see what you're building.
I would love to have you ride the auto with me.
Yes.
Electric auto.
Yes, we will ride the electric auto and drive the electric motorcycle.
Yeah. Which you are going to.
I'm going to do it and you'll pillion ride with me.
Yes.
Wonderful to meet you, Sridhar. Wonderful to know you.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Vanakkam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.